Hey, didn't you guys get the King and Queen of Wands last time? What is going on here? What is going on here? Right. So I'm going to pull, I've been doing this. I do this in my personals. I don't usually do it in my generals, but we'll have a look. So this was from the bottom of the deck, right? The underlying energy, Ace of Pentacles. What's underneath that? The Ten of Swords. That's beautiful. It is, trust me. I'm not sugarcoating it. To go from the Ten of Swords to the Ace of Pentacles, amazing. Hats off to you guys. Oh, the Ten of Cups coming out under that, but I don't want to go too far down. So let's pop this here. And let's have a look at what's coming up. So Ace of Pentacles coming up as your underlying energy. And this is the seed that we're planting. Something new that we're beginning. I always see the Ace of Pentacles as the minor arcana sun card. It is that the potential is there. An example I always give is if you get, I don't know, a seed or something like, you know, something tiny, but it has the potential of that huge plant that can come out of it. A tree that can grow fruit for years and years to come. That's what the Ace of Pentacles is. That's all that potential is held within this. The seed that we plant. And it's something to do with our long-term security and stability now. I know. It seems really kind of obvious to say, hey, it's a new year, you know, we're trying to do something new, but not everyone does that. I've talked to a lot of people who don't even have any hope. This is not for those people. This takes a lot of hope. A lot of recovery has happened here. Why am I saying that? Because we have the Ten of Swords coming up. The Ten of Swords coming up. This is the kind of shadow of every shitty thing that's ever happened to you in the past. Being left face down in the dirt with 10 swords in your back, yeah, that's not fun, and that's going to have a lingering effect. This is over. This is the past. It's finished. It's done. But it can cast a shadow over something new that we're trying to do. Now, I don't see that being a bad thing in your reading. I kind of see it as the fact that you're getting ready to start something new after having gone through this. Like I said, that's amazing. That is amazing. Don't let anyone downplay that. To make that kind of a comeback, this is that comeback kid kind of energy coming in here. That, yeah, I might have been betrayed, I might have been deceived, or, you know, my trust might have been battered or do whatever. But you know what? This time this is something practical. This is something real. Pentacles are always to do with our physical realities, earth, right? Swords are our thoughts, our beliefs, our ideas. So yeah, this can be horrible thoughts or memories that we have about something awful that happened, but it's done. You might have cut some shit out. The writing's on the wall. You know what to expect from that. But now you're going forward to make something new. Now, why is that? We have the Seven of Pentacles coming up at the heart of your reading. And this is very much about, there's something that you had already started. That's what I'm getting with that Seven of Pentacles there. Because this is the last tree that you planted. And you're looking at it and you're thinking, okay, well, what am I getting back? For all the time and effort that I put into this, what did I get back from it? Or do I need to tweak something? Now, it can be that some of you decide that I'm going to keep going with this because, you know, I've started doing this. I've put a lot of effort into this. And yeah, it's fine, whatever I'm getting back. Others of you, there's a complete, like a new direction. It's almost kind of Eight of Cups feel about it. That I'm done with that. I think I've gotten as much as I can out of this situation. I'm going to go start something new. Start something new. And it's very important that we look at the Ten of Swords is there because it's easy. It's easy to begin something new when, you know, all we've had is success, success, success. This isn't that. This is out of the ashes of failure, of being let down, of every, like I said, I'm seeing it as every awful thing that ever happened. You're coming back strong. It's like, well, screw that. And if I could build that before, I can go even bigger, even better. Now, what do we have coming up as a past energy? And I'm not going to talk about these two together. We have the King and Queen of Wands coming up here. The Queen of Wands, love her. She's very confident. And this woman knows what she wants. And I say woman, we all have the divine masculine and feminine within us. You're going to be one. I mean, this might be the same person. Let's say this. This is not two people. I'm going to have to read this in a couple of different ways. It's general, right? So it can go both ways as well. If you look at it in that sense, and the queens, they represent a certain energy, a certain vibration, and the kings represent the next one. It's nothing to do with genders. It's nothing to do with any of that, especially in the general. This is, you know, I see the queens as the supporting act, right? You know, they're very about the internal stuff. I know what I want. I know how to go for it. I know who I am. I know that I'm ready to put myself out there and to do this, which is not easy. It might be that, you know, you did that last time and that's how the 10 of Swords happened. So for some of you, that's one energy that's going a step up. Others of you, this is knowing who you are, taking yourself, you know, and you're putting yourself back in the game, whether it's going for that career, whether it's going for that relationship. But you know who you are. That's the main thing here. You know how fabulous you are. And she is fabulous. Look at them. The King and Queen of Wands, they're always the most fabulous looking. She wears a red dress. You know, that's someone who wants to be seen. And it is about being seen and getting what she knows that she deserves. She's going to take action and go for it. She pursues, very much like the King of Wands, she pursues her passions, whatever it is that she wants to create. That's the foundation, though. Last week, last month, last year. I think some of you are kind of wondering about going back in. You might have been stuck at the 7 of Pentacles. Sorry, I was going to say 7 of Swords. 7 of Pentacles for a while. You might have been stuck there. And you're like, well, let's just scrap it. Let's just start again. But we have the Moon coming up in the present. And that's where I think this 10 of Swords plays in. Because everything looks set to go. Everything looks ready to, like, let's move this forward. Let's try this. Let's go in this direction. But with the Moon coming up here, you're a little bit uncertain. Well, a lot uncertain about what's coming up ahead. The Moon shows us that. It's, you know, we can see a kind of pathway ahead, but we don't know what's coming up there. We can't see all of it. And there's usually shadows, right, when the Moon comes up. And remember what I said, that, you know, the Ace of Pentacles, it's the sun almost. But if you think about in the major arcana, the Moon is number 18, the sun is number 19. We go through the darkness to get to the light. We go through the darkness to get to the light. That's what you're doing here. You've gone through the darkness to get to the light. Because then we know what the light looks like. We've been stumbling around in the dark for a long time. You know, trust me, we know how to spot that light and how to go for it. But with the Moon coming out, this is about trusting your intuition. You can't, looking around yourself, I don't think, whatever this situation is that you're in, that you're trying to give it some of you might be trying to give it a second go at something. I don't mean with the same person. It can be whatever, however you take that to be, a career that you'd given up on, getting that bank balance that you want, whatever it is your long-term security and stability, whatever you attach to that. Some people do that for a relationship, their family, their homes, their investments, whatever. But when what you're looking at, the Moon says you can't really trust what you're looking at. It says it encourages you to look at your fears and doubts around this. Now, if you do that, I think what you will find is that your fears and doubts are combined around this. What happened in the past. But with the Queen of Wands coming up here, it's encouraging you to look at, well, you were still fabulous. Now, for some of you, it might have been someone who was like that. Because this energy, they're very attractive. They're very attractive. Sometimes we can look at them and think, oh God, you know, I'm not. Were you looking at the 7 of Pentacles thinking, I'm not putting enough effort in, or someone else isn't putting enough effort in? I'm so fabulous. Because it can be that. Sometimes we look at them and think, I'm not good enough. Or they look at us and think, well, I'm not good enough to do this. But it feels like a new cycle can begin in this situation with that Ace of Pentacles. But it's not about what you see. Because I kind of get that with the Page of Wands and the King of Wands. Either someone doesn't get what you're about, or you don't get what someone else is about fully. Because that Page of Wands is very immature energy. It's the beginning. I always see the pages as very similar to the aces. And so if that's what's coming up ahead, the Moon is saying, well, hold on a second. And everyone kind of got this pause that came in. Hold on a second. What is it that you're afraid of? What are you afraid that might come up on this path ahead? Because you don't know what's in the shadows. You won't know until you go up to them. So what is it that you're afraid of? And like I said, it will go back to this 10 of Swords, whatever that was in your past. It's going to be different for everyone. And as we do move forward, what happens? We have the Page of Wands coming up. It actually turns out better than you think. And it's about going in a different direction. I always see the pages, the knights, the queens, the kings of wands. They always go in a different direction because they're always true to what drives them, what their passion is, what they're looking to create. And it's very telling. It's very telling when you have the Page of Wands sat underneath the 7 of Pentacles. Because it's like, I might have put my effort and whatever into this before, but I'm going to take it in a new direction now. Both of these cards say that. The Ace of Pentacles and the Page of Wands. It's going in a different direction. But it gets you very excited. So you can focus on your fears and doubts. And that's not a bad thing to do. I always think, I've said this before, I feel bad for some Scorpio tarot readers out there. And a lot of the readers that I follow, if you look at the ones that I recommend on my channel, they're Scorpios. They're Scorpio suns. And why? Because they get to the nitty gritty of it. They go in depth. They look at the kind of underbelly of the situation. And if you want to heal something, if you want to fix something, first you look at what's broken, right? Or what's messed up. But the problem is some people get stuck there. They get stuck there and they think this can't be fixed. Or, you know, they let those fears of it happening and stop them. And that's the kind of crucial point here in the present. But if you can get past that, if you go, you can take this in another direction. The Page of Wands tells you that. And it's exciting and you're enthusiastic. It's about getting your passion back. For some of you, I kind of feel like you haven't been that passionate for a while. You haven't been that passionate for a while. And so this is the muse. What gets you excited? What gets your passion going? Trust that. Trust that. This is looking at the physical reality of something. This is trusting what you're passionate about. What drives you, what inspires you. Now, there's a very specific, you know, I always read the general energies, but when I see something specific, I will say it. And another thing that's coming up is either someone sees you as the page. Now, compared to the king or queen, it's just the page, right? They haven't got a lot of experience. They don't really know what they're doing. It's that kind of, that might be what you're showing. That might be all that you're showing. That, hey, I'm excited about this. Or yeah, that looks kind of interesting. Could be that. But really behind this, because the advice is the King of Wands. The King of Wands, he is inspired. He's the entrepreneur. He's ready to create something new. And he does it big. I think Gemini got the King of Wands as their underlying energy or part of the underlying energy. And that's what I say, when you get this energy, this is not about hiding your light. This is not about doing things discreetly. This is not about hiding out in the shadows. This is about being loud and proud about who you are and really going for it. They don't understand that they can't get stuff. That's the King and Queen of Wands because they're passionate about it. The going for it is fun for them. The action that they take is fun for them. They don't care about the end results. They care about, you know, does this excite me? Do I get all kind of, you know, inspired by this? Is this, sorry, I'm hitting the mic there. Is this something that drives me forward to create something? So it's about reconnecting with your passion. But there could be a pause here where you're looking at your fears and doubts. But ultimately, guys, you know, the other thing is, if this is a partnership, this is the partnership that won't die. I will say that. And you'll be in it. It's not about, I don't think, there's not a break here. It kind of feels like the one where, you know, you guys tear strips out of each other but it's just that connection. They go well together. They burn each other, but they burn each other in the best possible way and they create. And then it's that sense of giving it another go. But I'm not saying that for everyone. That might be just one person's message that I see there. This is about connecting with your own passion. That's what the message is here. Overcoming that last look of fear of what happened and planting a new seed. That's what grounds this reading. The fact that we have these pentacles coming up. That's real. That's not just a feeling. That's not just a thought. That's not a memory. That's not, you know, this person turns me on or this project gets me going or whatever. It's not that. This is, I'm going to do something about this. I'm going to create this long-term stability and security. And you might start off small with the Page of Wands, but I see you going in a different direction. That's the kind of advice here as well. And with that King of Wands, it's doing it loud and doing it proud. I'm going to actually get you one. Right. So we have more pentacles coming up. That grounds it even more. This is about... one of the issues, if this is a relationship, whether it's a business partnership, whether it's a romantic relationship, is they're both so independent. They're both so independent. But that can go well together in a partnership. I know for myself, I wouldn't want to be with someone who wasn't very independent, who didn't have their own world and their own successes. Do you see what I mean? Like, it's both people are who they are in their own right. They both shine their light. No one dims each other. So the Nine of Pentacles can talk about that. And it can also be that stepping up, going from the Queen to the King or shining your light, it takes you out of your comfort zone. It takes you out of what you're comfortable with, out of what you've already grown and done. But that's not always a bad thing. That's why this comes up here, to have you look at what's stopping you, what frightens you about the shadows that could come up. Face those and let's go. You don't have to jump in as the King of Wands, even though you're advised to. But you can start off as with the Page of Wands energy. But why would you go back? That's what it kind of feels like. You kind of... I don't know if it's because of how much effort. You might be trying to do two things at once. I don't know why that's coming up. But I'm seeing this as two separate things. This is a new start in a situation. This is something that's been ongoing. And so you might decide to go in a different direction, or, you know, start small with it. Say, you know, yeah, that kind of excites me, or that's kind of cool to look at, but it can go much bigger. That King and Queen of Wands there, much bigger. All right, my lovelies, thank you so much for watching your reading. I am going to be doing a live outro in a few hours, actually, from when I post this today. If you missed that, if you're watching this later on in the week, I will post it. I'll attach it to the end of this video so you can watch that once it's streamed and up, right? Just want to say I love you guys very much. Go pursue your passions. I will see you next time, but that's all for now. Goodbye.